Hello, I believe this is part 4. I want to tell you that some of you probably don't care, never did care, because it didn't happen to you. But the stuff about 9/11 and the war on Iraq is a story that really does need to be told and need to be known about by everybody, because they're never going to put any of the truth in the history books. They rewrite history every so often. They're rewriting it right now. What the kids are going to learn in school now is economics, and it is a bunch of lies and bull crap. On February the 11th, Goldsmith from Great Britain, one of Blair's kicks, he met in D.C., he came to America and met with Bush, Powell, Rumsfeld, and Rice, and their lawyers. Their lawyers were attorneys John Ashcroft, Alberto Gonzalez, William Taft, Jim Haynes, John Ballinger. These people are traitors and treasonists. These people are part of war crimes, war criminals, and mass murder. Rumsfeld started a group called OSP, Office of Special Plans. From that, he bypassed the CIA and their reports because there wasn't enough evidence of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq to start a war. But Bush wanted the oil, and then he knew ahead of time he wanted the poppy fields of Afghanistan. And there's other artifacts, and there's a lot of stuff for reasons that Bush wanted the war on Iraq. They're warmongers, they're war criminals. And so the backside is that Bush and Powell could claim that they were fed made-up intelligence from OSP, which is a Rumsfeld invention, the Office of Special Plans, where they gave information, they alleged gave information to Bush and Powell, which they shared with Tony Blair, which they all got together and ganged up on Iraq and started the war. And the backside is that the OSP is the scapegoat to give doubt that Bush and Powell made an honest mistake and started a illegal war with Blair's help to the UN Council, and the people of Britain by Blair were being fear-mongered by his lies and his deception, telling them that Iraq was a threat to Britain and the United States. Goldsmith gave into the pressure from Bush's office to give Britain's support to invade Iraq when Iraq was totally innocent of wrongdoings toward the U.S. or Great Britain. Saddam Hussein was not a fool. He did bad things. His sons were even worse, but he was not a fool to threaten the Earth's pharaonic and Roman superpowers. 9/11 was a Bush job, and his family and friends and staff all helped him except for those employees that quit Bush and those who lost their lives for not supporting Bush. And the bigger folks, Bush is a bigger bastard than Hitler or Stalin or any of them ever was. George Bush. He needs to be hung by the neck in front of the whole world. And I would do it if I could. George Bush is a rapist, a murderer, a pedophile, a traitor, a treasonous war criminal, just to name a few of the adjectives that describe that piece of shit. You have no idea of the number of people who gave up their freedoms and their reputations and their careers, even their very lives, trying to do something to stop the unwarranted and criminally illegal war against Iraq that goes on to this day and was drawn into more illegal wars with Iraq's neighbors, like Afghanistan. Folks, I wish y'all knew more than you do. Killing illegally over 4 million Iraqis alone, 1.5 million babies or children, young children, and you don't give a damn about this because it didn't happen to you, it didn't happen to your family, and it didn't happen to your small country. But you got 5G for the future of you and yours, and later down the road, there will be some who don't give a damn about the war that's being waged on you in the United States. Just like you didn't give a damn about the war being waged on all them people in Iraq. The war in Iraq has cost over 4 million Iraqis their lives. As far as American and British soldiers, between 4,600, that's 4,600, and 4,800 dead American and dead British soldiers, as well as 37,700 or more British and American soldiers wounded or crippled, and the number of wounded and crippled Iraqis is said to be countless. These figures are just the first 4 years. The U.S. corporate military industrial complex is a world terrorist pharaonic mafia organization of the serpent worshippers who have the reptilian symbols everywhere on everything. Men, machines, clothes, and flags. And service medals. They got reptilians all over everything. It's in the medical. It's in everything. Can y'all not connect dots? You should check out the true story of Catherine Teresa Gunn of the GCHQ of Britain and hear about her heroic and horrific ordeal that she went through for over a year because she tried to do something. She tried to expose the manipulation of the United Nations vote to start the war on Iraq. She exposed corruption to a biggest degree, and I thought they were going to kill her and put her away. But because of papers that were subpoenaed, documents to show that Goldsmith was enticed to change his opinion, to go to support the war on Iraq, this was done by the Bush administration, just like the 9/11 job was done by the Bush administration. That's all I got to say in this last part right here. But if you people don't know about 9/11, there were no planes used. They did use nanothermite explosives, but those buildings were destroyed by a disintegrating machine, a direct energy weapon, just like the homes in California were burned up with the same weapons. The Solar Warden, Ronald Reagan's Star Wars defense system. Ronald Reagan, another pedophile, another homosexual. You folks, y'all just keep on sitting around. The 5G frequencies are going to take care of you because you don't care, you're not interested, and you are so dumbed down between the fluoride and the frequencies and your movie stars and your stars of television and radio, your meteorologists, your news commentators and reporters of today, all controlled, scripted programming, and y'all just do like you were taught in school. You listen, you hear, you obey, you learn, you prove that you learn, and you prove that you believe by passing exams so you can get your diploma. You paid to learn a bunch of deception and lies, just like the flat earth. And you know what? People that wake up to the flat earth, I got one thing to say about all of these book writers and all of these people that gives you all of the scientific lumbo jumbo about the earth being flat. None of them ever asked you or suggest to you that you should be upset about the deception and the lies that were told you. None of them ever mentioned anything about all of the money laundering for the phony baloney NASA. Money laundering, or all of the drug dealing. The biggest drug dealers across the entire flat earth is the CIA, and has been. The Queen of England got her financial stability through running opium from China. This was couple of hundred years ago, folks. And y'all don't, and what do? That's why we had presidents, Carter and a couple of them, Nixon. They wanted to lock everybody up for dealing drugs because the CIA wasn't in on the take. If you subscribe to my channels and you listen to my videos all the way through, and those of you who don't listen to my videos all the way through, here is your sign. Just like my new email is, you know your sign at gmail.com. You know your sign at gmail.com. And my new YouTube channel is War on Stupidity. That's all I got to say for right now. But I believe in giving you the cold hard facts. No BS, no beating around the bush, and no junk. And when I tell you something, I have researched it and I have looked deep into it. And these other big channelers out here that you pay, folks, let me tell you something. You should share a little bit of your time and a little bit of your food with people and animals that are hungry. Because the way they're doing in the United States, there's a whole bunch of you right now who's living in high cotton, but a whole bunch of you who's on high cotton right now, you're going to end up seeing some hungry days. And what goes around comes around. And when there's animals starving around your home, in the woods, looking for a handout, begging you for food, or a word or two, a soft word goes a long way with animals. They pick up on your frequencies, your vibrations. And you're being, you're being made so docile and so out of control of all of your thought process that you don't care about things that you really should care about. Because I personally believe humanity is not made. Humanity has enough sense and enough intellect to care. And when humanity is not interested in bad stuff that's happening all around them, happening to them and their neighbors or family, to their country, there's something wrong there, folks. Like I said, you learned how to listen and learn without question or without proof, and you learned real well. It's time for you to awaken, and the flat earth is the first giant step to awakening and developing and gaining some perception and some discernment. There's a video on YouTube. You've got to have eyes to see, or I can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry that I can't. I've not seen it yet, but the title sounds really good. You have to have eyes to see. And we have eyes, but we don't see. And remember, the frequencies are destroying your vision as well as everything else about your body. Thank you.